It's no blood, no foul. 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 Emotions spill on the court when you proud. To rep your city, New York's the hometown. Playgrounds prepare me for them hard fouls.
This is a special edition of NBNF Views, No Blood, No Foul, interview host by yours truly, Coke. And today I'm joined by Knicks fan, published author, teacher, overall sports enthusiast, gamer, and sneakerhead, Tia Shaw. What's up, Tia?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. We're doing our thing now where we're trying to invite other people on, get a voice of other fans and let our base get to know them and hopefully, add some contributors to our content on the podcast. So we're going to start with you. Let's jump right into it. For starters, let's talk about your book. You're a published author. You got the book out, Sheep in Wolf Clothes. Tell us a little bit about the plot summary and what inspired you to write this novel in the first place.
What inspired me, I've had this story, I guess you could say, in the back of my mind for a really long time. And, I just never knew how to go about it. And my mentor, I met her and she also wrote a book. So I asked her, I was like, what could I do, to get this book out, this story out. So I told her, I went over what the story was about and she thought it was brilliant. And, that's not something I went to school for, so she helped me with the writing part of it, putting my ideas out there. And, a lot of things, writing a book, people think it's easy, but it's really not. Like, it's really difficult. So she helped me and we got the story together and got it out. Well, the main character, her name is Kimura. She has a lot of pressure on her. She has to save her family. If you like Kill Bill or, those type of movies, then you're going to love my book. She is, she's an assassin. Her family has been, taken hostage and she has to do things in order to get them back. So she has to basically kill and that is really not her. She's actually a sweet girl. She just wants her family back and she wants to live a normal life, house, picket fence, dog, cat.
Got you.
So yeah, she's a badass basically.
Now I know you said you're you didn't go to school for this, but have you naturally been a creative writer, or is this something that you just like dove right into just because you had some inspiration?
Yeah, well, when I went to college, I actually started out as an environmental technology major. I wanted to save the world. So my English professor was like, your writings are really talented. I think you should maybe switch. And I was like, no. I'm gonna save the world and get the recycling going and the environment back to normal. But then I realized, there's no hope. So I went towards more teaching. But yeah, I've always been able to write. Sometimes I would just write a quick little story. So it's always been there. And my mom was she could write poems, so it was always there. So I just finally got it together and got this book put out.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned the whole teaching element. Do you mind sharing with us what level you teach and also which subject?
I'm special needs, so it's like life skills.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I've been doing that. Well, I'm originally from New York, so when I was in New York, I did it with high school students, and it's just basically teaching things that we don't think about, whether it be, going out to eat, knowing how much money we have and what we can order, just teaching them how to do their laundry and cook. So it's like basically teaching life skills to
Gotcha.
special needs students so they can function when they get old enough to leave high school. They can be able to live.
Gotcha. All right. Well, in taking a look at your bio, I know you mentioned that you're from New York. I like the line where you said New Jersey is where I live, but New York is home. With
Yeah.
that said, talk to me a little bit about the area of New York that you're from. Your upbringing as a young female who took an interest into sports, and also your eventual migration, from New York over to New Jersey?
I'm from Long Island, which is right outside Brooklyn, Queens. I'm like 40 minutes from Manhattan. So I grew up in Long Island, and my upbringing, yeah, sports was always around me. My grandfather was a boxer in his time, so I always had that around me. I started with track when I was 6 years old. Actually, my phys ed teacher saw me running around on the field and was like, I was really fast. I used to beat all the boys. So she was like, "Hey, you wanna join my track team?" So my mom talked to her, and the next thing you know, I was running track, and that was kind of my sport. And we became a track household because my brothers, they also started doing track as well. I wanted to play basketball, but I actually did very well in track, and family was like, scholarship, scholarship. Leave that basketball. We don't know what you could do. We know you can run track, so we're gonna stick with that. And I always wanted to play basketball. Always had a love for it. My brothers played, but I never got a chance to find out if I was good or not. So, I kept with track, and then I got hurt in college. I actually blew my knee out, and I was really hurt, and figured that was it. That was it. So someone said, "Well, why don't you get into coaching?" And I said, "Oh, okay. I guess I could do that." And then I went back to my old high school, and I got a job, and I started coaching for a while. I've been coaching for a long time. So I started coaching, assistant coach, and then finally I got into a head coach position at a high school on Long Island, Freeport High School, actually. So I was a head girls coach there for a while. And so yeah, I've been in track and field forever. That's basically what I know.
Nice, nice. All right, so I gotta ask, the bio says avid sneakerhead, you're
Yeah.
running track. You gotta talk to me about this collection. I mean, give me a number.
Oh,
Like, I know a lot of women are into the shoes, you're into the sneakers. So what's the count? What's the count of the
ah,
collection? Give me a ballpark number.
let's see. Ooh, them boxes add up. I know, and they keep adding up. Probably, am I in the hundreds? I might be. I might be.
Nice.
I
You
might
got a
be.
favorite? Favorite pair?
Uh, yeah. Um, the Bread 11s. Those are my favorite. Cool Gray 11s, which are coming back in December. I don't know if everyone knows that, but it is. Been waiting a long time for them to make a comeback, but they're coming back. So those,
You
I'm excited for those.
you leaking an exclusive for us.
Oh, am I really?
You
Dang.
breaking it.
Yeah, the Cool Grays are coming back. The 11s are coming back in December. I think December 21st, something like that.
Nice.
21st, 22nd. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So 11, ones, high ones, of course. Those are my faves.
All right,
Trying to think.
so
What's my last purchase was actually I got my first pair of Dunks like few weeks ago. So yeah,
yeah,
that's my last sneaker purchase.
nice. I'm into the classics myself. Can't go wrong with the Air Forces. Me being a New York dude,
Of
I
course,
love I,
of
I
course.
love the clean look with the Air Forces, but Air Maxes are always my thing as well. So
Yeah, I was about to tell you those are my favorites. 97s.
yeah, yep.
97s are my favorites. So I have a few 97s. But yeah, those are pretty much my favorites.
But one thing I won't touch, I can't touch no Jordans. That's the '90s Knicks fan in me. The big rivalry. I
Yeah,
refuse
yeah,
to
yeah.
ever buy a pair of Jordans, and I've stuck to that. Well into my adulthood. So I'm kind of proud of that. But no,
Oh
no
wow.
shade to nobody who does mess with the MJs, but I can't do
Right.
it.
No, I understand. I understand. I was being a big track person, of course, Air Max is always really my thing. I probably
Mm,
started getting into like the 11s and stuff like when I got out of high school, I guess you could say I started getting into that. And then I was selling for a little while too. I was, selling sneakers for a little while, and then I stopped. I'm not selling sneakers now, but I have my plug that I go to,
mm.
and certain people I will be like, all right, I'll let them know you need these sneakers, whatever. So I have, I still in the game, but not as much as I used to be. But my little side hustle also, I want to become a sneaker authenticator. So I'm actually taking a course and getting ready to finish, and that'll be like a little side thing for me to do.
All right, so a person like me, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I have no idea what that means, and to the other people out there who don't know, tell us what a sneaker or authenticator is and what they do.
Basically, it's just making sure they real.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, StockX, GOAT, trying to look, maybe they'll hire me.
That's dope.
you know, I could, yeah, it's basically just making sure they real.
Gotcha. All right, so let's get into the orange and blue. Let's talk about these Knicks. Tell me a little bit about how you began your journey of becoming a Knicks fan, and how long you've been afflicted with this madness that we're all addicted to.
Wa-
It's glutton for
Wow.
pain, although it's getting
Uh,
better.
it is getting better finally, right? Basketball is another sport that is in the family. I've liked basketball forever, I could say. I guess when I could understand what a ball and a hoop was. So when I was little, um, my cousin is Lenny Wilkens. He was a coach for the Knicks.
Wow.
Yeah. So, he's always sent whatever team he was at. I think the last thing he sent me, I know when he was coaching the Cavs, he had sent me like some real, like I have like real authentic gear that I keep, keep safe, keep it in boxes, whatever. So yeah, so he's my cousin, and he did coach the Knicks. So it's just like I said, I wanted to play basketball. I was like, I always wanted to try it. I don't know if I would have been good, but I just loved the game. Like, I just, Knicks was always in my household. My dad was a big Knicks fan, so
Mm.
it's like a passed on type thing.
Could you give us like your all-time favorite Knicks memory growing up? And at the other end of the spectrum, give us your all-time Knicks nightmare.
Oh man, you're making me go back. Let's see. I mean, I'm a big Patrick Ewing, John Starks, you know, Allen Houston, that crew. So let me think. There's so many.
And for the record, Kyle has no idea who you're talking about right now. He's
We,
barely a
Wait,
minor.
okay, hold on.
I mean,
Okay, hold on. Okay, stop it, man.
no, I'm joking, but he's one of the younger Knicks fans. He don't know
oh
too
yeah,
much about those grit and grind '90s Knicks.
I mean,
Thugging it out on the court.
that whole era, to me was just everything. So it's hard to even. I really do love that era. I just, that was yeah. It's hard to say. I just love. You couldn't. I can't even put. Maybe top 20. I don't know. I just love that era. That was one of my favorite times. So, I always had that. Yeah, that whole era. That was the best to me.
Yeah, that's the golden era. The '90s.
The goal, yes, that was my, yeah.
Defense. Garden was
And
rocking.
I'm trying to think. I think my brothers had Patrick Ewings. I did not have a pair of Patrick Ewings. I know my brothers did. I was like, well, I want a pair, but they had Patrick Ewing because I love. Yeah, he was definitely one of my faves, and I always wanted his sneakers.
Well, one of my favorite memories, I gotta say it's like top two, was the Allen Houston, bounce in layup to beat the Heat and to move on. That
Oh
was crazy.
yeah.
That was crazy. And
All right.
I gotta say, maybe the LJ 4-point play, that's up there.
Yeah.
And and,
You're
and I
right.
would say my worst moment gotta be John Starks going for the three to win Game 6 and getting blocked by Akeem Olajuwon against the Houston Rockets in the finals. That
That
was
was
a
a block.
crusher for me.
That was a block. That's somewhere. I don't even want to
That
think. You're right.
that everyone says they thought that was going in, and that would have been the championship. So that was a crusher. Not we haven't got a
But
chance to see a ring. That was the
yeah,
closest we came to it. So that hurts for me.
that era was. That was an amazing era. I have to say.
All right, so let's fast forward to the modern Knicks. We've been through a lot of pain. This year,
Mm.
first time making the playoffs in 8 seasons. Talk to me a little about going into this season. Like, what was your expectations for the 2020, 2021 season before it began? Like, what were you thinking this team was gonna max out at?
I go in every season like, all right. Everyone laughs at me like, really? really? You really think? Like, look, I'm gonna go in positive at all times, all times. You never know. And then finally, I'm like, see, and I'm laughing at everybody now. Y'all was laughing at me, and now I'm laughing at you. But I go in positive all the time. I'm that Knicks fan that always got that. We gonna do it. We gonna do it.
So you thought we would make the playoffs? You took it that positive?
I take it. Look, I positive thinking all the time because you're right. You just don't know. So I'm always going positive. I'm always gonna be positive with the Knicks. I love them.
So all you're telling me right now is you've been let down for a really long time.
Yeah.
Because if you going positive every year and we're,
I
first time making the playoffs in 8 years, that means like you just been down in the dumps for 8 years.
Yes, you're right. I've been, everybody laughs at me, or even like when I'm at work and the kids are like, who's your team? And I'm like, Knicks. And they're like, blah. And I'm just like, oh. It's okay.
Well, look, you got a measure of vindication this year. I'm gonna just read off some of the reality of things. Julius Randle, Most Improved Player of the Year award. Tom Thibodeau, NBA Coach of the Year. Derrick Rose receiving a first place MVP vote. You can legitimately call him MVP Rose again. And then
Yep.
you got finishing third in the Sixth Man of the Year award. And again, the Knicks making the playoffs first time in 8 years as the fourth seed.
Yep.
This season is a success for me. Like, to me, far exceeded expectations. So I'm sure you share that sentiment, right?
Of course. It's
All
like
right, so
it's nice to see kids wearing Knicks jerseys again.
definitely.
And I've seen that. I'm driving. I'm like, oh my God, there's a Knicks jersey. Oh snap.
Yeah, like no more paper bags over their heads. And maybe at
right?
some point I can take off my mask again, you know? You know what I'm saying?
No, you can't do
Yeah.
that because then we'd get taken off YouTube. That
Yeah, I know.
would violate some kind of policy.
Wow,
I'm not the most handsome guy, I can't lie. Not the most handsome guy. So I might have to keep this on. Kyle's right. All right, so with that said, and with all the exceeding of expectations this year, do you feel that Knicks fans have a grounds to be disappointed or upset with the performance by Julius Randle and the Knicks, first round playoff showing against Trae Young and Atlanta Hawks being eliminated, in only 5 games? How do you feel about that? Should fans be disappointed or upset?
I know, from Twitter, there were people upset about it, but then, like I said, of course you want the best, you want them to move forward, you want them to beat Trae Young, but we haven't been here in 8 years, right? So
Facts.
it's not, I don't find it as a disappointment. Of course, you always want more, but I was excited. I'm happy, and I feel like next season is going to be just even better. Like, it's going to be even more amazing, exciting. I'm ready. So I don't feel like it's an upset because we went further than we have in a minute. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm chilling, but there are, I've seen all the negative, tweets and whatever, and they're like, oh, Tibbs is a terrible coach and he got out coached. And look, he got us to a place we ain't been in a really long time. He did a great job. He deserved Coach of the Year. So
yeah, I was saying this on a podcast a few times this season, and it was like, we've even criticized Tibbs on there, but I had to put things in perspective. I'm like, we really can't get mad at Tibbs because we can't say he's underachieving at overachieving. If you harp on his shortcomings, considering where he got us, and no one, all prognosticators thought we would be in the lottery. So considering where he got us, even with his shortcomings, you're essentially saying, hey, this guy underachieved at overachieving, and that just to me didn't make sense. So I had to back off a bit and just appreciate the fact that he turned us into a playoff team and a winner in his first season.
Right, that's how I wish everybody could look at it, but it's not like that. But that's how I'm looking at it. So I feel like this is more than I thought. I'm sure more than anyone had thought was gonna be this happen this season. So I'm proud. He deserves Coach of the Year. Like, I'm good on that.
All right, so look, talk to me more about the Knicks fans. the playoff atmosphere at MSG was like noodles. Like the Garden was rocking. Like I'm a longtime Knicks fan. That's probably the loudest I've ever heard it. Probably since that LJ 4-point play. And you yourself, you've been a Knicks fan a long time. Do you feel the same way? Like, did you ever hear the Garden as loud as it was during this Hawks series in the first round?
Yeah, it was definitely loud. I'm trying the last game I went to a game, was it 2017? They was playing, I think, the Warriors. That was the last Knicks game I went to, and from what yeah, it was definitely louder, way louder, and the Garden is loud. You know what I'm saying? The Garden is always loud. Like that's just what it is. But definitely, it was loud. It was different. It was a different type of loud, meaning like you hear the excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you haven't heard that in so long. So people who jumped on the bandwagon or whatever, they don't understand. Like there is a difference to what we heard, you know, during the playoffs than we heard in a long time. It's a difference. So I noticed it because, I've been a Knicks fan forever. So it was a different type of, that Garden roar, I call it. It's like it was loud, but it was excited. Like people were excited. People would jump on the court if they have to and whatever. Everyone was just like, come on, we're going to do this. And that's a different type of excitement that, I haven't heard in a real long time. So
I think a part of it was like the whole COVID thing. People hadn't been
that
able to go to games for so long. So the
that is true.
enthusiasm was like maxed out. But like one thing I can guarantee, like none of us, have heard in a long time. Garden is loud in the past, but we kind of like serenaded the other stars from other teams. But you heard it out there. I'm gonna just keep it funky. They was like F Trey Young.
Oh yeah.
Trey is balding. They was keeping it extra New York. You know what I'm saying? So, with that said, do you consider Trey Young a true Garden villain now? And also, do you think the NYC fans were out of line for some of those derogatory chants, or was it all fair game? Like, give me your thoughts on that.
It's New York. So it's like you come to New York, you gotta know. You gotta know you're gonna hear stuff. You gotta have that thick skin. Like you just gotta take it. Is he a true villain? I don't. I mean, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. I was laughing because I'm like, people are like, yeah, we're gonna show up in bird suits because he has a fair bird.
Yeah, right. But he's on the Hawks. He's on the Atlanta Hawks.
You know what?
But he's on a fair bird.
I made a tweet. I was like, how is he on the Hawks? And he's scared of birds, but their mascot is a bird. So people were commenting under it, like laughing, whatever. Because I'm like, do anyone talk about this? Like, how is he dealing with that? Do they have like he doesn't come out and he's like, what do you do?
Exactly.
But it's New York. Like people, like you're gonna hear stuff. So either you thick skin. Like that is what it is. Knicks fans are
You either with the shit,
so
you with the shits, or you not.
yeah, we're passionate people, so we gonna put it all out there. So either you can handle it, or go cry.
Yeah, because some people were saying like, they felt like the fans gave Trey and the Hawks some extra motivation to try to beat us. I'm like, look, these guys are motivated anyway. They're trying to win.
Right.
First time in the playoffs. I don't really think they're gonna really turn up just because the Garden is chanting whatever. So, but that's just my take.
It's the Garden. You got to know what you know. I mean, maybe it's been a minute, but no matter what, the Garden's gonna be the Garden. Whether we losing or not, they're gonna be the Garden. They're gonna say things. Things are gonna be said, and either put your big pants on, your big boy pants on, and take it.
Yeah, like we even did. Alfred. He's hearing it and he's on its squad.
Exactly. Oh my God, right? Like he was getting roasted and he's on right. That's what I'm saying. New York is, it is what it is. Like you gotta come out there and take it. That's it. It's like a number one rule of the Garden. I mean, look, basketball to me is not the same. Look, it's soft.
It is.
It's soft now. Everyone's like, he shouldn't have.
Look at the
that.
fouls.
Oh my God.
Everything's a flagrant now.
Like, oh my God, Like, come on. But it's too soft for me. I'm used to the hands being thrown.
Exactly.
Now it's like you can't touch nobody. It's this way the world is now. The world of sports or basketball. That's just how it is. People, it's ow, don't touch me. When I'm used to throwing hands. Like, come on, I want to see some hands thrown. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like that anymore. So it's like, so what? We said he's balding.
Exactly.
So what?
I would
He
say I
balding?
was out there saying somebody need to foul, Trey Young Pookie as hard. Like you can't let a little dude like that just be like dancing all over the court untouched. But everybody don't see it the same way. But I'm a throwback dude. I'm a straight, diehard Knicks fan from the old school, Queens, New York. Grew up in the hood. So that's why this podcast is named No Blood, No Foul. We're trying to restore the feeling. We're trying to bring that, hard-nosed basketball back, and we're trying to embody that spirit on this podcast. So that's why we're here.
Absolutely. I love it. It's great. That's what it needs. This is what, the edge needs to be brought back because it's
Facts.
gone. Like, put on some ballet slippers now. Like, that's how I'm like, come on now. What is this?
All right, let's talk a little bit about, some of the negative stigma attached to the Knicks and the fans and the media. Who's more toxic, the Knicks fans or the New York Knicks media?
Ooh. Gosh. I guess the media, because, honestly, to be a Knicks fan is like you hide. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what's gonna come with it. And it's like the media, yeah, they definitely like they switch up so fast. It's like I feel like there's no real loyalty. Fans are gonna be fans, but media. I think the media is more like hard like cutthroat towards the Knicks because
Nah, I feel you.
1 minute, when the Knicks were, I guess I would say 1 minute they were. Okay, I'll say this: Knicks fans are supposed to suffer. You know what I mean? Knicks fans are supposed to suffer. So it's like, when we're suffering, everybody's like okay with that. But when we're not, here comes all the critics. Here comes they like I said, Tibbs is a terrible coach now because this, that, and the other, or Randle is this now because and it's like, if you love the team, you love the team. You're not gonna, if he's having a bad game, he's having a bad game. It happens. Everybody has a bad day at work. It happens. That's the same thing with them. And they're quick to just be like, oh, he's terrible, trade him, blah, and I'm like, damn. Like, relax. Like, he had a bad game. Okay. So, I feel like, the media will go in. Next day, ESPN is bow. I'm like, dang.
Well, that's the thing, negativity sells. These dudes back in the days they were trying to sell papers. Now they're trying to sell clicks and views. And, I think they push the negative narrative because that's what's more sexy.
So,
but at the end of the day, I agree. I think the media is more toxic because, at the end of the day, the media kind of shapes the mindset of the fans by what they report. So,
absolutely.
it creates a vicious cycle. But to be fair, I do think some of the criticisms of Julius Randle, regardless of the great, regular season that he had pretty much an all-time worst playoffs. It was more than just a bad game. Hopefully this motivates this dude because he's shown that, and I know you're a teacher, I don't want to get on your bad side, but cyberbullying kind of worked with Randle. You know what I'm saying? Like, we bullied the dude, he came back, worked extra hard to prove us wrong, and he won MIP. So hopefully, let's cyberbully him a little more, and hopefully, and hopefully he comes back more hungry and he has a better playoff showing in his second try. So that's the hope.
I mean, yeah, the cyber. Oh, there's my ESPN. Sorry. The the fact that even his hair.
Yeah, right.
They're like, braid his hair. Braid his hair. Like, he came out with a fro. Braid your hair. Get your hair braided. You played better when your hair was braided. Get your hair
exactly. Braided. Exactly. We're out of our minds, man.
Wow. And he did. Yep. He put on social media. I'm getting my hair braided.
Yeah, the players, they act, sometimes they pretend that they don't hear the fan chatter or what the news is reporting or what the media is saying, but they pay attention.
Oh yeah,
They hear this stuff, and
of course they do.
that's why I said, the hope is that, whatever we criticize, it should spur, a dude who's built for New York to improve and motivate them to get better, rather than want to run and hide and ask out and things of that nature. So let's hope he turns it around. But I
Yeah,
want to talk about the young fella, RJ Barrett, 20-year-old,
R.J. Barrett. Yeah.
had a hell of a bounce back sophomore season compared to his first year. I need your thoughts on him. Like, what's your opinion of his ceiling? And also, do
Um.
you have an NBA comp for him? It could be past or present.
Well, see, I watch college basketball, and I am a Duke fan.
Oh man,
So, dang.
you're a dookie.
I'm a Dookie, and so I already was like, "Yay, RJ Barrett!" So I was excited when I was excited. Everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know about him." Like, nah, give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. Watch. So, of course, I got the looks like, see, told you. But now look at him,
Yeah.
like, but people was definitely not understanding. I'm like, they're like, you're just happy because he's a Dookie. I'm like, of course, yeah, but I know it's gonna work out. Like, just give him a chance, whatever. So of course I got the looks, but now, he is, yeah, everybody loves him. He's now got, I guess, I'm not saying every Knicks fan, but he has respect for a nice amount of Knicks fans, right?
Yeah, I mean that I think everyone's happy about the 3-point shot. He really improved that. And I think what people want to see next is the ability to, like, create off the dribble in isolation. I think that's the next step for him. But give me a comp for him. Give me a player that you
Oh,
think he can become realistically.
dang. All right. RJ Barrett. You really put me on the spot, huh? I can't.
I'll throw one out there if it helps.
Yeah, give me
What
one, 'cause I
what you
can't.
think about Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler. Um,
Nah?
maybe.
And another one I'll throw out there is from the past. I think this was a good one. I believe, if memory serves me correctly, that one of our podcast mates threw out Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. Okay,
You know,
maybe.
knack for
Yeah,
scoring, not really the most athletic, but can get to their spots.
right, can
You
get to the
know,
spot. Yeah. Okay, all right. I might be able to rock with that one.
Can I throw out one?
oh
Sure, Kyle.
Okay.
gosh.
No. I'm serious. I'm perfectly serious with this one.
All right, come on.
Perfectly serious. His shots, his field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and like his 3 points to field goals are
Mhm.
pretty eerily reminiscent of Chris Middleton at around like 2015.
Mm.
But RJ's also 20, where Chris Middleton was 24. So he probably got a higher ceiling than Chris Middleton.
That's interesting. I
Wow,
think the
Kyle.
size comp is close. 6'6", 6'7". I can see that. I think
I wouldn't have thought of
RJ
that.
might be a little more off the bounce rather than a pure
Yeah.
shooter the way Middleton is, but I could see the production and the size prototype.
I would have never thought that.
And just to give you a
But
rundown to you, Kyle is like, he's our analytics guy. He's really numbers
Please,
oriented.
Coke. I'm the nerd of the group. Just say it. That's what I am.
You said it,
are
not
you,
me.
Kyle?
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's cool, Kyle. I do.
All right. So now,
well, I didn't ask for your opinion. Thank you.
Oh my God, Kyle! This is my first time. God.
well, look. I think this is the perfect opportunity to throw in this question. If you had one thing to tip the scale, are you going eye test or are you going analytics to give your to get your final stamp on a player? Which one are you going with? Eye test versus analytics?
I have to go with that one too.
Which one?
Well, wait, hold on. Let me think. You threw me on a spot, Kyle. Thanks. Will I go? I don't know. Can I come back to you, Kyle?
See, she's trying to find a way to say eye test without making me mad. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Kyle already knows where I'm going.
Maybe it's a little of both. I don't know, Kyle.
I'm going eye test. That's the differentiating factor that'll tip the scale for
So
me.
you
I'm gonna
wouldn't- you
take.
wouldn't
I'll
say
take.
a
I'll
little
take.
both?
I mean, I'll take info from both, but I'm gonna trust my eyes at the end of the day if my job is on the line. So, like, let's say I'm an exec or a scout and I got to put my stamp on a player, and I need one thing to override the other. I'm going with what I see, in
Okay.
in game footage.
But it's like you want to see and look on the paper too, right? Like, okay, he did, and then I don't know. I would say a little of both, honestly.
But you can only pick one. That's the thing. It's got to be something
Oh,
that tips.
Kyle, right? Kyle said one. I'm sorry, Kyle. I'm not listening. I'm sorry. I guess I guess I do. I would go with the I because a player can get out there and do amazing, better than whatever's on paper. You know what I mean? So, okay, there it is.
We had a little debate in season, and it was like, a guy like Kyle Korver, deadly 3-point shooter throughout his whole career, but game one of line, do you want and you're down 3? Do you want the ball in his hands?
No,
or Kobe
that wasn't the
Bryant?
question. That was not the question. That was not the question. The question was, who do you want to
What
take
was
the
it,
shot?
man?
I said, hey, I want the ball in Kobe's hands, but if Korver's open for 3, let him take the shot. That's a better shot.
Come on, man. That's too many disclaimers, man. Just game one of line, down 3. Which one you want with the ball in their hands?
Now the
None of this if he's
better one was Quickly versus Halliburton. Still Halliburton.
Yeah, I think you're right about that one.
Oh, see, yeah, now I'm right.
Yeah, I think you're right about that one.
You were so offended when I said that earlier in the season.
Yeah, seeing Halliburton more. Nah,
Wait,
he's the better prospect.
When
for
was
sure.
this debate?
This was a while, but this is during the
That was
season,
like
during
one
the
of these
regular
early
season.
debates, yeah.
Yeah, but Quickly, he's no slouch, man. He's, for the fact that we got him, what was it, 25th pick, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick, man. The fact that you can even compare him to a lottery pick like Halliburton, who we passed over, that's a good consolation prize. All right, so let's talk about Julius Randle a little more. Do you feel that he is a true, star player and number one offensive option for a legit NBA contender, or do we got to get someone in here to, knock him down a notch and be the number one guy and make Randle the number 2 guy? What do you think?
I keep hearing, I'm hearing like back and forth with that, getting someone else. Personally, I mean, I like the chemistry. I do like the chemistry of the team. Do you ruin that with someone else? I see the lineup, people, and this is like, I think it's a Knicks thing too. We always have like, who's the Knicks going to get? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? And then, there is a lineup now more than any, probably in a while, that who can come to the Knicks. And like, of course, Dame was one of the big, he's on the list, whatever. So it's like, I don't want to ruin the chemistry. I like the way things are. But something's going to change. So I am like, dang, what hope, whatever that is decided, I hope it just works with where things are. I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah, but what I have faith in is Tibbs. He tends to get like the most out of this roster, out of whatever roster he has for that matter. And what I tend to look at is that if we stand pat and just bring back the same unit, do we have a ceiling that we've maxed out? Can we get better with this same lineup, or do we need to rearrange some furniture, get another premium piece in? And that's the job of management. But I'm looking towards an upgrade. Not saying that it's gonna happen. I know even Kyle, he's of the opinion that maybe you go into the season with the same squad and you look to strike opportunistically, if something opens up. But I feel like this management team, they're going to be aggressive in the offseason. Like you said, we're
Yeah.
hearing whispers of Dame. You know, my other podcast member, Mook Cal, he threw out Westbrook. I know some of the fans don't like that, but it depends. You know, if you can get them without giving anything up, just taking on a
Yeah.
contract.
Okay, that's it right there. That's it. Giving up stuff. Giving them no, I don't yeah, that's the part I am worried about. Like I'm worried. I'm just worried like who they gonna give up if this does come to happen. I'm like, God. um,
Are you more worried about the players or the assets like picks
I mean, it seems like
as
people
far
want
as
to
what they're
come.
giving up?
People want to come to the Knicks now, so that's like, you know, are they gonna? Well, I don't. You know, of course I want Julius Randle. I don't. You know, I don't think they would. I hope not. You just never know. I hope that doesn't happen. But I mean, who would? Well, Elf.
Oh, Elf is a
Elf.
goner. he's he's got to
I
be a
mean,
goner,
you could give
especially.
him bye. Like
I'll
he
drive
can
him to
go.
the airport.
You know what I'm saying? Like Uber, whatever you need.
Yeah, like Elf after being, I was a little worried because he has the ties to Scott Perry, and I think Perry's coming back now. But
Yeah,
after
got
getting
to.
benched in the playoffs, I don't think Elf is coming back. So
Yeah, he
big
can
sigh of
go.
relief for everyone.
He could go. I'm okay with that. um,
I think we could
I
upgrade over Burks too. I think we need
you
a
know what?
higher end guard.
Yeah, you know what? All right, I can rock with that. I could. All right, that's okay for me. Um, other than that, you know what? I want Mitch to come back. I'm
Mitch,
hearing I'm hearing he's healthy, right? He's I'm hearing that he's well. I'm not. I don't think he's 100%, but he's
he's getting there.
close. Yeah, he's close. I think he would have. Yeah, I'm good with him. He's getting back to himself. So yeah, okay.
The thing with Mitch is the contract. You know, Kyle, you could break that down better than me. I think you know a little bit more about that. What's his status if they
Yeah.
bring him back?
So
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
it's actually kind of interesting. So if we decline his last year, which would be next year, then he becomes a restricted free agent, meaning we can bring him back even if he wants to leave. However, if we accept his option for next year, we bring him back and he's real cheap, less than $2 million, but he becomes an unrestricted free agent at the end of that, meaning he can leave if he wants to. So the question becomes, do we want to pay him now and just guarantee that he'll be with us for the foreseeable future? Do we want to take a gamble on him, getting healthy and then having that cap space for next offseason? Or do we want to say, hey, we have him as a 1 year asset, we can sell him off to a contender for real cheap that needs a center? We can go in any of those directions. And we have a lot that's just one of the decisions we have to make this offseason.
And I think it's dependent on if we can get a big fish in here. If we need that money that would be allocated to Mitch, they might hold it off until next year and gamble on that. But I think if it's not clear that we can get a big, fish in here to kind of go over Randall as the number one option to have Randall drop down a notch to number two, then I think we'll go if we can't do that, then we'll give Mitch his money this year. That's just what I believe.
I think it's the opposite, because if we can't get someone this year, then we would lose the money for next year if we keep Mitch. Whereas if we do get someone for this year, we have him for cheap now, and we can go over the cap to extend him.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. The bird rates.
Bird rights.
Right.
Okay. Yep, did not know that. Okay.
All right, let's pivot over to some draft talk. 2021 NBA draft coming up. Knicks have picks number 19, 21, and then in the second round they have 32 and 58. Tia, do you have any specific players that are realistically in that draft range that you like, that you would prefer to see those the Knicks select?
Hmm. I do not right now. I do not have anybody I could put up in those spots right now. I definitely will guess be checking and looking soon to see what I like, and hopefully they don't hit or whatever. But not rather right now. No, I don't have any picks right now.
I'm really looking forward to us. We're going to be doing a draft show, and one of the things that I think is interesting with this draft is outside of like the top 6, 7 picks. The talent is really similar beyond that. So I think it's hard to gauge who's going to be there at our picks anyway. Because after that, pick 7, you don't know. Anyone can go anywhere pretty much in the first round. Even a guy who people had high hopes for, who had a disappointing college year. I'm talking about B.J. Boston. I see mock drafts putting him in the second round, but I kind of think teams are going to look at his profile, his length, his projecting out as a scorer, and he might go earlier than people are saying. So even a guy like him, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone at like pick 18, even before we even get to 19, even get a shot at him. People are saying, hey, let's get him at number 32. Might not be realistic. So I think this draft is going to be hard to call. I'm looking forward to us doing our draft special, our mock, and I think that you're going to see some surprises on draft night that don't match up to what any of these guys are saying in these mock drafts online, and even on the guys tied to ESPN.
I believe it. I do believe that. I probably will start looking myself and seeing, what it is out there. So yeah, I believe it. I believe it's going to be different than what people expect.
But it's going to be deep. Oh,
yeah, it is.
But the sad thing, and this is the thing that it's a little weird, because deep draft, like I said, I think it's going to be pretty volatile as far as like who goes where. But everyone is saying the Knicks are going to consolidate. They're going to try to trade up. I don't think guys who have those premium picks in like top 10 are going to be looking to move down. Why would you, if the consensus of the great players are in that range? Why would you want to trade out of that? But at the same time, for the Knicks, wouldn't this be a draft, being that it's deep, that you want to have 4 shots at solid players rather than consolidating just for 1 shot? People don't think that's what's going to happen, but I think it might actually be smarter to swing for the fences, take 4 shots at it. If you strike out 3 times, at least you still have a chance to hit on 1. But people are looking at the roster spots and they're saying Tibbs is not going to want too many kids on the roster. He's going to have to save spots for free agents and things of that nature. So who knows what's going to happen? But I'm keeping my eye on this, and who knows what's going to happen?
Hang on, Coke. I
Yeah.
may not be a big baseball guy, but I'm pretty sure striking out 3 times means the inning is over.
Well, look. I'll rephrase that. You might foul tip on one of them. 2 strikes or foul tip until you take your shot on the 4th pitch. There we go. Boom.
There you go.
All right, let's pivot over back to the current NBA playoffs. T, I'm putting you on the spot. Who's winning the NBA championship? Who's taking it home?
I don't even want to. I don't even want to. Because right now, like, I'm just watching because it's basketball. And soon there's going to be no basketball, so I'm going to get as much basketball as I can. Honestly, I don't want it to be the Nets, of course.
Yeah,
So
right.
what is going on? Right? I've been slipping. Where the Nets? Where are they at right now?
Well, they're currently losing right now. We're recording this as they're playing Game 4. They're down 69-56, and good news for anyone who doesn't want the Nets to win: Kyrie is out the rest of the game with an ankle injury, so that might affect him for a couple games or longer.
And that was the thing. And that was the thing with the Nets, right? Knicks fans, when he was a free agent, didn't want Kyrie because they say he's breaking down. He always has an assortment of injuries. And then you got KD. He came off the Achilles thing, and you got to worry about his health as well. Then Harden, he's having issues. Isn't he out as well?
Yeah, Harden's out with his hamstring. Did you see that post I made where before this season Harden had played in like 96% of all games he could have played in, and then this season he just gets injured all the time? It's just complete luck with some of these things. Yeah, he's been.
Yeah, I didn't see the post, but
yeah,
that's the thing. You stack the deck, and sometimes just luck is not in the cards. That's an all-time great roster offensively, at least with that team. But
Right.
who knows if they make it out of this series. So I think this is one of the years it's wide open. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like
is.
who would have thought LeBron would be sitting home right now? That's the thing.
Exactly. It's hard to even make certain predictions anymore because everything is going so different than what is normal. 'Cause right, who LeBron is home. He's on vacation. Who would have thought that? Not me. I mean, actually, I'm like, what? That means he's on
I kind
vacation.
of attribute it to the COVID condensed season. I know LeBron, he was like the last guy off the court. And now they're off early, and I think that's because of the quick turnaround. AD
Yeah.
was hurt, LeBron had his injuries, but one team that it's not a popular team to win it all, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The Phoenix Suns are up 3-0. And
They are, right?
that
Yeah.
team, yeah, they're surprising everybody. I would not be shocked if they went to the finals, and depending on who they're matched up with in the East, they could win it all, especially if Brooklyn gets bounced. Who knows? So that's a team to watch for me, Phoenix.
Yeah. Because yeah, no, you're right. It's a lot of surprise. All I said, this whole season's been nothing but surprises. Honestly, like it's been like it's hard to even say anymore. Like, okay, there's no prediction. Like it's really hard because everything is just so, like you said, wide open. It's just like everybody's surprising. Because who would say Suns?
Yeah, right.
Like that's never been in a conversation before, right? So
And with their resurgence, I gotta say I was a little shocked when Monty Williams didn't win Coach of the Year. I'm not gonna complain because Tibbs is a Knick, but during the season on our podcast we talked about it and we all pretty much conceded that we thought, okay, Tibbs is gonna come in number 2. You can't put him over Monty Williams, and it happened. So that was a shocker too. So like you said, a lot of
so
surprises this season, and
so
the
many.
championship. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not any different.
It's going to be different. It is. I am. I mean, I watch. Don't get me wrong. The Knicks are, like I said, basketball is going to be done, and there's nothing. So I'm getting as much basketball as I can. Of course, I wish the Knicks were there, but you know,
We got a long way to go before we get to the finals.
yeah, we do.
Management got to roll up their sleeves, and they got to pull some moves to take us to the next level.
They gotta pull some.
This was a good stepping stone, but we're not ready yet.
Not yet. Not yet. We're close though. We're
We're
definitely
getting there.
We're getting there. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, let's step away from some basketball. I know you're a boxing person, so let's talk a little boxing. Did you happen to catch that fight this weekend with Austin McBroom versus Bryce Hall? The battle of platforms, YouTubers against TikTokers. Did you see that?
All right. Okay. Me and boxing, that annoys me. It does. I didn't watch it. I didn't even watch the Mayweather fight. I didn't even watch that.
No.
Nope. It's just
Now look, it seems to me like the purist in you doesn't like the whole celebrity boxing angle. Am I right?
yeah. I
All
guess
right.
that's what it is. Yeah.
All right. I was the same way initially, but I will say this: I was pleasantly surprised last night by Austin McBroom. And for those who don't know, he's a guy who he has a YouTube channel called the Ace Family, family lifestyle
Yeah.
channel. Guy has a lot of money, throws his hat in a lot of different arenas. He's promoted basketball events. He played college basketball. For those who don't know, D1.
Yeah. I didn't
Um,
know that. Yeah.
yeah, and he does he dabbled in music, a lot of things. But what I will say is the dude can fight. He
I
had
did.
some
I
quick
saw a clip.
hands.
I saw a clip, and I was
He
like, okay,
surprised me.
but I did see a couple of clips actually, and I was like, oh, but like I said, yeah, me, I was like, what is this? I'm not watching this. But
I
I
think
saw
the
a
game.
clip.
I think it's changing. I mean, we saw
Oh, it
Jake
is.
Paul knock out Nate Robinson, ex Nick. Another bad moments for the orange and blue. Put him to sleep. Another YouTuber embarrassing another athlete. And I just think we're getting to a point where there's gonna be a little bit of legitimacy tied to some of these guys who are, known as celebrity cats who are just throwing their hat in the boxing ring. And they're putting up decent showing. And when you look at it, the purses are getting larger and larger. Real boxes are a little upset because they do this every day. They train year in year out. They've been at the profession, but haven't a lot of them haven't seen the payday. Then you got these guys stepping into the game and they're getting upwards of 10 plus million plus proceeds off the pay-per-view sales. I think the game is changing. So, you know, I was one of those people that I didn't like it in the beginning, but it is entertaining. It's generating a ton of money. I think more people are gonna take it seriously. The more of these celebrities actually show they have some skills, and that if they use it as a base, I think when they're generating this money, they take it a little more serious, and they're gonna hone their craft. And I think it's gonna get better and better. So I am looking forward to the next fight. And for anybody out there who did see those fight, I'm calling for Austin McBroom versus Jake Paul. I think that would be, a mega celebrity boxing match, so to speak. But they both have some decent skills. And I think that's more entertaining than Nate Robinson, who just didn't belong in a ring at all.
God, that was
At
so-
all. And the
that was
Mayweather thing, he I didn't like the showing he put out there. I mean, of course he really won the fight, but you got one dude who's like 6'2", Mayweather, what is Mayweather, 5'8", 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah, he's not that big.
Let's see some dudes who actually match up, and if it goes to a decision, you're gonna get a real, judged bout and come out with a true winner.
If it's, maybe I should also give a chance, 'cause I'm just like, I'm not watching that. I'm just not watching that. I'm just not. Like, I'm not. No. But maybe I can bend a little if it's a decent matchup. Maybe I will watch because, well, I'll be honest. I was tired last night, but Shakur Stevenson fought last night, so I can't even give any real takes on it because I dozed off a few times. So I was trying to stay awake. I was tired. So I was trying to stay awake, but they did go 12 rounds, and I know he won. So I can't get no take. I'm probably gonna watch it a little later on tonight because I have a little more energy today.
Yeah.
But I was mad too. I was like, I want to watch this fight, so I missed this. I can't get no takes on it. But if you have me again, I definitely could talk about it. 'Cause I'm gonna watch it.
Got you.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
All right, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the ladies. With the empowerment movement of women through money making endeavors, you got a lot of females doing the whole OnlyFans things and whatever else, money motivated women do. With the money being made off of some of these celebrity fights, should notable female, celebrities or athletes that don't box, should they step into the ring and try to get a bag? Like, because I kind of feel like two notable women who put on gloves, I think that'll generate even bigger numbers because just for the sheer shock value of it, I think more people will tune in than to what the numbers are being generated by these guys. How do you feel about that? Would you watch that?
Sure. I wanted to box once.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You said you like, you respect throwing hands. So
I grew
you
up.
did say that.
I grew up. Wherever my grandfather lived, there was a gym, a homemade gym. He had the last house we had 2-car garage, so he turned one of the garages into a gym. There was a heavy bag and the
Nice.
speed bag, and he would have me out there, like, showing me how to. He's like, you gotta protect yourself, especially as a female. You gotta know your hand. You gotta know how to throw them. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right. So my favorite part of the gym was always the speed bag.
Nice.
And
That's the hardest part.
I love the speed bag. I would go out. If I'm having a bad day, I would go out to my grandfather's little gym in the garage and just go in on the speed bag. And, that was just my thing. I love the speed bag. But, before, like when I was younger, running, my grandfather would train me like a boxer, almost pretty much. He would take me to the beach, have me in some Timbs and some ankle weights, and have me running in the soft part of the sand. I'm like, what? I got your legs strong. This is how we train. This is how boxers train back in the day. So
Hold on. I gotta stop you. Did you just say you had Tim's on? True New Yorker, you're like a meme right now. You had Tim's on, Yankee hat, training and boxing on the beach.
Yes. My grandpa had me out on the beach with ankle weights and Tim's on, running in the sand. I'm like, what? This is how we do it. This is how we got our legs strong. So I'm out there running. And, you know, I was always tiny, so my little legs and these Timbs and big ankle weights. But I was running, though. Me and my brother, we'd be running on the beach. So, you know, I was like, you know what? I think I want to box. And he was like, no. Mm-mm. Nope. He was like, I don't want you doing that. But I wanted to. I mean, I don't, you know, at that time really wasn't any women boxers really. So, but I thought I wanted to. So I'm all for it.
Nah, that's what's up. I dibbled and dabbled in a little boxing myself, and
Oh,
you
yeah?
know, if nothing else, you know, it's a great workout.
It is.
Best way to stay in shape. Best way to increase your stamina. You know, and also with the calisthenics. Me, you know, I was a puncher. You know, a puncher more than a boxer. Great right hand. You know what I'm saying? Skills too, but you know, the knockout power was there. So, but I didn't go as far as I should have went with it. But I'm training my son actually. You know,
Oh,
he's
yeah?
been
That's
doing,
good.
yeah. We got all the equipment, so you know, starting them early. So boxing is definitely in the bloodline for me. I love it.
I do love, you know, my grandfather, he went to, I believe, the Golden Gloves. He got that far,
Mm.
and then he got out of it. But, yeah, box. I think women should. If the men are doing it, shoot, why not? Let them
Yeah,
go
I
get a
mean,
bag.
easy bag. Not easy because it's hard work. You
Oh,
know, a lot of
yeah,
people
it
don't
is.
know. Just sparring is most people can't even spar. Most people can't even go 3 rounds without contact. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, I see people making comments under some of these videos, and you know, it's easy to sit there and do that from your couch. But you know, when somebody goes in the ring, I want some of these people to spar for 3 rounds, then come back and talk to some of these dudes.
It is
It's
hard.
it's legitimate work. You know, it's one of the hardest sports that you can you know, undertake. But you know, I want to
It
see
is.
boxing you know, a resurgence as well. And the hope for me is that with the layman and the general population, you know, showing a renewed interest in this celebrity boxing thing, maybe we'll see some true heavyweights, you know, in the next generation get spurred to
Maybe.
take this thing seriously and you know, get back to the golden age of the heavyweight division.
I mean, I do like the heavyweights of now. I do. You know, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua.
Fury's a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, those are the fights. If I'm gonna pay to watch any fights, it's gonna be those fights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because to
I'm not
me, there's
sold on Joshua though. I don't. I
no.
think he got a glass jaw, but Tyson Fury to me is the most skilled heavyweight in the world right now.
He's been through a lot, so he's definitely gonna come and show everybody. Because a lot of people, you know, did write him off kind of, but so you know, he's coming back. You know, what's the name? Wilder. You know, I believe they're fighting, right? Is it Joshua? Not Joshua. Fury and Wilder. Are they
Yeah,
doing?
there's supposed to be a trilogy set up. I think they did come up with a date. I can't remember when it is, but the
Yeah,
third
I
fight is
can't
gonna happen.
I can't remember either, but I know that it's being it's if it's not set up, it's getting set up. I believe it's set up though. I believe
I
it
don't
is,
like that
but
matchup for Wilder though. I think Fury is gonna take, you know, the third fight as well. I just don't think, you know, Wilder's just a puncher and he's not refined. You know, Fury can actually box, and he showed he has some punching power in that last fight that they had. So I would be shocked if the outcome isn't more in tune with that second fight.
yeah, got a point. I mean, at this point, to me, you know, like I said, I'll watch that. You know, I'll watch that because I definitely was like, I'm not doing this. Cause I go to like, wait, who's the last match I went to? Was it Crisco? Now I gotta think. But I did. I go to the. I actually go. I think it was at the bar. No, it was at the Garden. I went to a fight. I think it was Crisco was the last fight I went to. So I'm itching to go to a fight now that things are opening back up. So I want to go to a fight. My bucket list is Vegas. I wanted to see Floyd. You know, that was my bucket list. See Floyd in Vegas. Didn't get quite. You know, I missed it. But you know, I just want to get to Vegas and watch a fight. So
No, I feel you.
hopefully I can, you know, see somebody. I ain't watching the YouTubers though. Not going for them.
She's like, nah, I'm not doing it.
I
I'm
ain't doing
not
the
doing it.
YouTubers. You know, Alvarez. You know, all them. You know, those guys, I'll go for them. I ain't doing the YouTubers. I don't care who's showing up, what celebrity's going. Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I feel you. I feel you. All right, so look, I'm gonna go a little bit out the box here. You know, the term fan is short for the word fanatic, right? And according to the original English meaning, that label applied to people who are insane with enthusiasm. That's where that came from. So as fans, we're all crazy to a certain degree in some way, shape, or form. That's why we're following these teams and we're doing this weird stuff that we do. So my question to you is, could or even should fans be celebrated in their own right if they prove that they're extraordinary at their level and intensity of fandom? So like with that said, no blood, no foul. We're going to introduce a new thing where whatever fans are at the extreme of whatever it is that they're passionate about, we want to invite you on the show. So if you're a Knicks fan and you got crazy memorabilia, come on the show. Let's talk about that. You can show it, give us a little tour, room tour, whatever you have. Or if you're a Knicks fan, you got crazy apparel, let's show us all a Knicks fan you got. Or if you're just a fan, maybe you've been online on forums talking crazy for 20 some odd years. You're welcome to come on. I'll interview you and we're going to talk about this. So I'm going to ask you, do you feel that there's, a platform for people to be, celebrated for being a fan and taking things to the extreme?
Oh yeah. Just on, I haven't been. I got on Twitter November or December of 20, and the things I've seen, there's plenty of people that that are just like, whoa. I mean, I love the Knicks, but wow.
They take it to the max, right?
Wow, like, whoa, okay. Yeah, like, oh yeah, you definitely could probably get, yeah, oh yeah. I could, after the show, I could probably send you some names that you might like.
Yeah,
I'm like,
DM me those names.
wow,
DM me those names.
wow.
And anybody out there who's watching this, if you want to come on, you want to get interviewed, you want to talk about how you take your fandom to the extreme and you want to be celebrated, for being a fanatic that you are, hit me up on Twitter, man. At NYC Coke. So at NYC COKE. And at me or DM me and we'll talk about getting you on the show.
Exciting. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun, man. And
It's gonna be
that's a
really
nice
fun.
thing to do in the off season, in between the free agency and the draft and the playoffs. It gives us something else to throw out there for the people.
I when everything is done, it's like that gap. Like I honestly, I'm not a baseball person. I never really got into baseball. My brother loves baseball. I'm not. So it's like, so I was like, I gotta find something to do because I gotta watch something, whether if I do go back and watch old games or, I have to, I gotta find something to watch. But actually, I started getting into arena football. I don't know if you ever watched one or went to one.
Never got into it. NFL,
Really?
yes, but not the arena football.
I got into around 2019. So I love it, actually. It's very exciting. I've gone to some games, I watched them, and so that's been what I've been like. That kind of keeps my sports, keeps me going. So yeah, I got into arena football, and I love it. It's very fast paced. I love it. It's exciting,
Yeah.
and not many people, it's not really talked about. So I was like, oh wow, this is really, I like it. Like it's really good. It's like a perfect balance. So that's what I do during the off season.
Nice.
So that's, keeps me busy, keeps me, something to watch.
All right. Well, look, we're gonna get ready to close this thing out. I want to give you one last opportunity to, give you a plug for your book, Sheep and Wolf's Clothes by Tia Shaw. Do us a favor, let everyone know where they can find your book. Oh, there you go. Let them know where
Yeah.
they can find it, where it's available to purchase online and in stores, and also throw out your Twitter handle so people can
Okay.
reach you.
Well, my book, you can go to Barnes and Noble. Some stores carry my books, so but you can order it Amazon. You can either if you have the Kindle, the little book audio, whatever you call it. You could put it on that. Or if you actually, some people still like actual books, you can order it. So Barnes and Noble. Type my name in, and it comes right up. Tia Shaw.
All right, give him your Twitter. Give him your Twitter.
TN Shaw 06.
There it is.
On Twitter.
All right, well, I want to thank Tia Shaw for joining us on NBNF Views, the No Blood, No Foul interview edition, and it's the show presented by Real GM. This has been another edition of the No Blood, No Foul family, and we're out of here.
Congratulations till we run that clock out. MSG to Mecca, this is our house. NYC forever when we mob out. See that kid drip, got that clock clout. Till we run